Welcome back to the BRRRR Investor Podcast, where our mission is to empower aspiring real estate investors in their journey towards building generational wealth. All right, I'm here with Ian Mayer and Adriana Parra from I Am Home Inspections. Thank you both for being here.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Hi.
I'm excited to have our conversation. I want to start off with Ian. Ian, could you
Yes.
let us know a little bit about yourself and how I Am Home Inspections got started?
20 some odd years ago, and about 20 years ago, I got a job in a wholesale mortgage company. And from that position, that company, I became quality control. So I was basically in charge of loans we'd already funded that were having issues.
This is great. This is
Yeah.
great.
What I was at the conference yesterday, and that's exactly what everybody was talking about. They were having just this worst experience in life, and that's when they decided to do something that they knew would be a pivotal point in their life, you know? So
Just got to
that was
take action.
Ian's pivotal point. I love it.
It's great, yeah. And I was chatting with him on offline as well, and it's a very cool story. And I want to, I know I mentioned this multiple times to both you and Adriana. You have a business, There's a lot of different inspection companies out there. However, one thing that I feel is I give you kudos to you guys is that you guys run it like a business. It's professional. It's not like a one man or woman show. You
Awesome.
got a team. You trust your team. I can tell by the way I feel you empower Adriana and how she shows up. She's passionate about what she does. So that's amazing, and that's very commendable as far as having it as a business. You guys are able to accommodate, scheduling, and you know how real estate is, right? There's a lot of last minute things. There's a lot of short contingencies, especially like, we're here on this podcast in the investment space.
And so that's essentially what I do is we want to get out there, Ian as well, educate people on what a good inspection is, and our one-stop shop, which seems to be really interesting to a lot of agents. It doesn't seem like that's that common because there's a lot of independent inspection companies out there. So, makes it stand out. And then what really made me want the position, I was like, hey, you know what? This company has to be good. They have 5 stars, and I'm like a Yelper, and I Yelp myself. So I, did my research as well. And I'm like, hey, they have 5 stars. I could sell this, I could definitely do this. This is a good time for me to get out there, get involved in my community, learn about all, the different parts of LA County because it is huge, and, really get to know people, which, I'm really enjoying.
And
Thank you.
definitely not too much sitting down anymore, right?
No, no, no. I'm a runner.
Awesome. This is very, very cool. So I wanted, again, our viewers are, mainly those are getting started in real estate in one way or another, newer investors, newer agents, buyers, people with different parts, real estate enthusiasts in general. So with that said, can you guys walk us through like what a typical inspection includes, like, the basics?
Yeah, a typical inspection is basically, I mean, it's going to be the entire house, top to bottom. We're going to walk around the house, look at it from the outside, look at where all the utility connections are. Then we're going to go inside and we're going to go through the entire house: kitchens, bathrooms, bedrooms, hallways, the attic, uh, crawl space if there is one. We're going to get up on the roof. We're going to look at the roof, look at the entire house, and look at it as a system, because a house is, a system of, you've got the structure, you've got the electrical, you've got plumbing, you've got heating, air conditioning, the roof, the attic, and everything is all tied together. So that's really what we're looking at, this whole house as a. Well, that's a big thing I'm also passionate about, because I grew up in a city that had no swimming pools, and it was my dream to move to LA and get a swimming pool, and I made it happen. And then I went, whoa, pools are a lot of work.
Work.
And very interesting is there were no codes or safety rules about pools before the late 70s, early 80s. And a lot of the pools in Los Angeles were built in the 50s and 60s. So a lot of pools have significant electrical issues. And, a lot of people think, oh, a pool, it's just a hole in the ground with some water, and what can go wrong? A lot can go wrong, because you've got lights, you've got pumps, you've got heater, you've got all these electrical components. And if they're not installed correctly, it's a potential shock hazard.
It's not the way I run my business. However, if I do find these components that are in good condition, wow, I start, drooling, and I'm like, okay, great. I know the main components I don't need to worry about. Then yes, I can focus on the cosmetics. Two properties that you guys inspected, right? We closed on them. One this Wednesday, the other one last week. Actually,
Congrats.
Monday and Wednesday. Monday this week, Wednesday last week. You guys inspected both. Brand new like fairly new air conditioning. The roofs were great. The electric was so. So I went into it knowing that I did my numbers, knowing that, right? And I know now I can just focus on cosmetic, upgrade panels, do some cosmetics, and I'm golden. Why? Because AC, foundation, roof are in good shape. So I hope that answers your question. That's the way I look at it.
Okay, no, that definitely does make sense. Weston's listing, it was like a 3-story lot. And what you guys maybe got out at you guys got out before 5 p.m. and started at 9, right, Ian?
Oh, well, that was
But that's like a
that was a very
lot.
big Bel Air home. It was 16,000 square feet plus a guest house, plus a separate theater, plus a pool. So we sent 5, 6, 7 people, and we were done in 6.5 hours. Not that I'm an arborist, but one of my observations is there's palm trees in your yard. They will go for that water.
The olive trees too, the worst.
And we could get into all sorts of tree problems. But a lot of houses have roots, and even if they don't have roots, I did a home. It was a brand new house in Simi Valley, but it was built on an older lot. The client really wanted a sewer scope. The agent was a little resistant, but I sent the camera down there, and what did I find? We found all the paint was congealing because as the painters were washing their brushes, so all that paint's going down the line. Well, then if they didn't flush it all the way down, it stops and it congealed, and you had this giant paintball in the sewer line. So if the client had moved in, went to flush the toilet, it would have immediately just clogged up. And sometimes, and going back to, investors, we'll find hammers, nails, pieces of wood, leftover tools that somehow, I don't even know how they do that, but somehow they got down the sewer line.
Cloths.
Because like you said, I've had situations where the sewer line, the main sewer line is original, but then the connection to it and to the house is all brand new. I'm a big fan of a sewer inspection as well. One time on one of the properties I was purchasing, we found out we couldn't have noticed it unless we did a sewer inspection. It turns out the clean out of the neighbors is encroaching on our lot. And the inspector came and put it in there because it's on our lot. So I was thinking that it was ours, but sure enough, it goes to the neighbors. And then we found out that because it was, a property that needed to be fixed up, they didn't have a clean out outside. So they went through and we determined that it was somebody else's. And the neighbor didn't even know.
It was a perfect house for an investor. It had been a rental. The renters had trashed it. The seller was like, I can't deal with this anymore. I'm not going to re-rent it. I'm just going to sell it. And the investors were, they're sitting there planning out where they're going to move things and do things. And then I noticed, the water heater's running despite the fact there's no hot water on. Like all the faucets are turned off, yet the water heater's running. And the water heater only runs if there's water, you have hot water on. I started investigating, and there's a warm spot in the floor, and it's a slab foundation, so you can't go underneath. Well, now we've got hot water running underneath the house loose, and that had led to a big crack in the foundation.
Oh boy.
And the investors wisely, took that into consideration. You can see on their face they were thinking, well,
you guys have an awesome day, and again, thank you guys so much for being here. I truly appreciate the support.
Thank you, Alex, so much. And I'll be seeing you soon, Ian. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you all for joining us on the BRRRR Investor Podcast. If you found today's episode helpful, please hit like and subscribe to our channel for more real estate insights. We love hearing from you, so please leave your thoughts, questions, or topics you'd like us to cover in the comments section below. Be sure to check out our website, theburrinvestor.com, and follow us on social media at @theburrinvestor. Keep learning and investing, and we'll see you in the next episode. I'm your host, Alex Nale. Stay invested.